You're watching a ton of porn. You're watching anime girls. It sounds like you're watching the hentai.
Well, essentially, yeah, because like it's not even like it's like normal porn. It's just like it would be like it started just getting like more fucked up type stuff, and then like that's the only type of stuff I ended up watching.
Hello, is this Ben?
Yes, this is.
Ben, it says here that you can only get aroused by anime girls, and you feel disgusted by that. Is this accurate?
So there's kind of a story behind this verse that'll make it
Hmm.
make sense. Would you like to hear that or no?
I'm more curious what you mean by make sense.
Um, because I feel like saying it right off the bat in general, it makes it sound very like odd. But I feel like if I give you the explanation behind that statement, it would make more sense to what I'm saying.
I mean, sure, go ahead. What is what is the origin of this?
So this originally started whenever I realized that. So I had been hanging out with this one girl, and then I noted, and I've never had a problem like, well, like performing before, but
Sure.
then one day, like all of a sudden, I couldn't, and I thought it was just like very odd, and then it started to become more of a consistent thing. And I know originally I was thinking like, oh God, do I have a medical problem? But then I could like, I had like a bad habit. Like I would go home and like I would always just like watch like the most like raunchy type videos, but I would
Yeah.
not have a problem like performing. So I don't like I'm more or less looking for some advice if you think that's like is if like I've desensitized like my mind in a way, if it's an emotional connection I missed it. Like what would you get out of that?
What would I get out of? Okay, you're watching a ton of porn. You're watching anime girls. It sounds like you're watching the hentai.
Well, essentially, yeah, because like it's not even like it's like normal porn. It's just like it would be like it started just getting like more fucked up type stuff, and then like that's the only type of stuff I ended up watching.
And the fucked up type stuff that you're talking about. Do you have a desire in real life to enact some
No,
of
I
this stuff?
personally think it's like really disgusting. Even just like mentioning it, I think the whole idea of just like saying it out loud, I think it just sounds like very gross in general. And like I feel disgusted that this is kind of like my reality that I'm like having to like work with now. And I was kind of wondering, I remember you were mentioning about how like desensitizing actually is a serious problem. How you went through a whole thing about that. And I was wondering if you think that's a problem.
Oh, well, definitely. I mean, look, I'm no brain chemist person, but absolutely, you get desensitized. I mean, even like normal porn, right? If you just watch, if you're just jacking off to two people fucking, like, when you go out into the world and like have sex with real human beings, you get like desensitized to that. I have no explanation of the chemistry and whatnot, but yeah, I mean, clearly, any type of porn is going to like desensitize you to the actual reality of sex. Whether you're just watching, like I said, people just have sex, or if you're watching people shitting on each other, or if you're watching anime girls. Although I feel like anime girls, that has gotta drive that up to like 100, right? Because that doesn't even exist. So you're getting in porn. At least it's like a model of a thing that actually happens, but the anime is unattainable. So of course I feel like there's desensitization going on here.
Like at this point, I feel like did I desensitize my like mind to the point where it's like even like whenever I'm like with a real life person, I can't even do anything, you know?
Have you spoken to a doctor about this?
No, because I know it's not necessarily the problem of I can't get like it's not like I have erectile dysfunction. but it's like a very situational type thing, and I don't know if that's like something that I would seek medical attention for.
So are you just wondering if your excessive porn usage and your inability to perform are linked?
I don't know. I'm more like, I'm calling because like this is something I wouldn't like typically like want to mention with like friends or like family. So I'm more or less just like, I'm calling like, this is like the first person I've ever mentioned it to. And I'm just trying to see if you have an opinion or like any, like if you have an opinion or have any idea of like why that is.
Well, I mean, dude, it's as I said. I mean, it's like with any type of porn, you're gonna get desensitized to the actual experience of having sex. So, if I were you, I would do two things. One, I would try to quit watching porn. If you feel as though it's having a negative effect on your actual sexual abilities, then, and it's important to you to be able to perform sexually, then, you know, you would try to go down that path of quitting porn. And then two, you know, I know you say you're discouraged from talking to a doctor, but you should totally talk to a doctor about this. There's sex therapists. There's all sorts of, you know, people who would have, you know, a lot more practical advice. Because, you know, look, people come. I mean, on this show again, you know, whatever. I don't really give advice, but like, you know, when people are like, "How do I quit? How do I quit? How do I quit?" It's like this is a fucking specialist for everything. It's like there's alcoholism. There's you know, people addicted to all sorts of things, and it sounds like you might be kind of addicted to porn. And I can't just tell you, hey, quit your addiction, because it's probably going to be more complicated than that. But what I can tell you is that you should recognize if you have a problem. It sounds like you have. And then don't be embarrassed to go try to fix it.
Like, how would you word that to a doctor, or like if there's a specialist of like whatever it is? How would you go in there and then like word the scenario? Because like even just like saying it out loud, I personally just feel disgusted even just like talking about it, you know. So like
you gotta let go of the shame. You gotta let go of the shame. You love big anime titties. You know what? Lots of people love big anime titties. That's why they're drawing so many of them. You think they would? You think that people would sit in these animation studios drawing tit after tit, hand-drawn tit animation, if other people were not also soaking it up? There's no shame.
No. In my shoes, would you then go to the doctor and walk in with confidence and talk about big anime titties?
Fuck yeah, I would go into I would say, hey, yeah, it's these people's job to deal with this shit. Yeah. Say, Doc, I'm addicted to anime titties, and I need a cure. I need your anime titty antidote. My dick does not work because of all the anime titties. What do you think? He's gonna laugh at you? I mean, he might, but who cares?
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds disgusting.
It's what's going on with you, though. It's your truth. Own it. It's what's going on. The shame is only making it worse. Will you do that for me? Ben, will you do that for me? Will you go? Will you? I don't know. I can't. I can't. You know, hold your hand through overcoming the fear. But will you try? There's no shame.
Oh yeah, I already have an appointment lined up with Care Now. Every time I see the date getting closer, I'm always just thinking like, oh, this is gonna be so awkward, and like I keep on just like, do I really have to go to this?
No, fuck that. Like, no. This is your truth, as I said, and you got to own it. Okay, it's not gonna be awkward. I mean, even if it is, who cares? This is your truth. You love anime titties, and it's making your dick not work. And I bet these doctors who study the penis and its inner workings would love to tell you how you can make your penis work again. That's what they do. That's what they live for, is to fix people's penises.
So with the girl I was seeing, I remember this was like kind of what like I thought was really sad about all of this. I had to like I got it like mildly hard, and I had to like pretend to finish, and this was like more than once. And like I remember it was like so sad because like I had to like pretend to finish. Would you like then tell the person you're seeing about this, or would you not even mention it?
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing. Look, you only want to be fucking with people who are cool, right?
Yeah.
You only want to be fucking with people who are cool. So, like, look, if something's going on with your dick, just tell the person. And if they freak out about it or get mad, then they're not the kind of person you want to be fucking with anyway. And then you got to commit, like, you know, if you're fucking with someone and they say, hey, my vagina doesn't work, you gotta be cool too, you know? This is like a litmus test, right?
But I feel like that's a bit different, like, whenever you're a woman, though, because I feel like in that type of shit, whenever you're like, yeah, whenever I'm around you, I can't get my dick hard, I feel like that's, like, just, like, a slap in the face kind of thing.
I get it. So, look, some people take it personally. I understand why people take it personally, but usually it's not a personal thing. You just gotta find people you're comfortable with. I feel like you have this issue of like you're not comfortable with like your body and your issues and stuff, and you know that's something that you know.
I'm confident about myself. I'm confident about the way I look, but it's just like this like specific topic, and like it just like specifically like revolving around like hentai too. It just whenever I say it out loud, it just personally makes it. I just feel like it sounds just so disgusting.
No, you gotta own it. I'm telling you, Ben, you gotta own it. This girl that you're sleeping with, you just be honest with her. I can't get hard. It's not because of you. You're great. I've just been looking at too many anime titties. There's no shame in that. That's your truth. Be honest with this person. Will you do that for me, Ben? Will you
I will.
call your mom on the phone? You don't have to tell your mom. But if you started with your mom, it would make the rest of these conversations easier. Hey, good luck to you, Ben. Geck bless you.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Have a good night. Hello?
Hello.
Olivia?
Smile. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Olivia, it says here that you troll phone scammers?
Yeah. That is
like?
true. So, yeah, I started doing this because some time ago, my mom was a victim of phone scamming. She lost a ton of money, had to change bank account, all that stuff. And I hated that happened. I couldn't do anything. So with the career that I have now, I have learned how to use telephones in a very digital way to do things like calling them incessantly. Like you make something that says, I'm going to call every, 5 minutes, and I'm going to call from it looking like it's coming from a different number every time. Or maybe it just looks like it comes from the number 1 or the number 2 or the number 3 or anything of that nature.
Is this like a I don't know anything about coding, but like a script that you wrote or something?
Essentially, yes. Tacked with knowledge about how telephone works from like a coding level. I work doing software, essentially.
So, how long have you been running this operation?
I don't know if I would call it an operation as much as it is a hobby of sorts. My motto generally is if I can waste a phone scammer's time, I am stopping them from actually scamming people that are vulnerable to that. Because I find that it's shitty. to have people, especially because it's the older generations, right, that are normally the ones that are more unaware of how these things work. And since I can't teach everybody.
Right, I was going to say, this is a great example of doing what you can, right? Because you can't teach everybody. You can't, I mean, there's whatever, however many thousands of people running these scams. You can't take down the whole operation, but you can waste a scammer's time such that one person that he could have called and scammed didn't get scammed. So you're doing what you can to fix this issue that you are passionate about. Now I ask you, how do you have time to do all this? Do you have like another gig, or is this it?
At this point, from what I have done, it's been very hobbyist, and I've actually sat and questioned myself with this. Like, the things that I'm thinking I could make, in my mind, they pose a little bit of like an ethical problem. Like, just because I can make something that does this, does it mean that I should make this thing that does this? Because this could get used for something altogether different than my intended purpose. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, no, of course. If you make some sort of technology that gets into the wrong hands, it could completely undo all the justice that you've been serving upon the world and be used as a tool for evil.
Right. And, you know, if there was a way to make this, I don't know, if there was some way that I could justify it, I might sit there and go, okay, actually, this might be worth my time, and then maybe I spend less time doing my other gig, or, you know, maybe I do something that altogether. It just depends, you know? But until I have that, I don't know. I don't know if I actually want to build these things.
What is this thing that you're talking about building? Is this like some sort of doomsday phone weapon
Well,
thing?
It's not even like a doomsday thing. It's just like a server. It's just like, how do you make a server? And then like, right, the server, or you could say like a client, or like the client can make a phone call, right? Or if it gets
Spanish to me.
You know, right, which is why I'm trying to use like non-technical terms, because it's very coding related, and I feel like when I start to talk about it more technically, I really start to lose people.
Well, okay, no,
but there's open source software.
You shouldn't have to dumb yourself down to get to my level. But the purpose of it. What's the ultimate purpose of this technology?
I would want to disincentivize phone scamming altogether, to the point where it makes a business either non-operational or creates more of a barrier to make such things. Because maybe I can't like defeat it, right? But if I can do something that has that intended purpose to specifically make it more difficult in some way, shape, or form, that would be great.
Can I bring something up that maybe will be inspiring for you? I don't know if you've thought about this.
Sure. Yeah.
These phone scams. I feel like ultimately will die out at some point, because, as you said, the primary targets are old people that don't know how to use the internet. So eventually, once we get to a point in humanity where everyone alive grew up with the internet, I feel like everyone will have a sort of baseline internet literacy, and the scammers will have to work like 10 times as hard to trick people than they do now. So the issue will eventually phase out, but all the would-be victims would also be dead at that point. So I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse.
That does make me feel better. I wonder what else would pop up instead of that. Because I feel like scamming is sort of always a game of cat and mouse. But this was a point that you brought up just now I didn't consider. It actually does make me feel a lot better.
Well, okay, so I feel like let me ask you this other thing. Because you were like, what form will it take now? I feel like the form it takes now is like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you're into Bitcoin or whatever, but whenever you watch a video about it, the comments, there's always somebody in the comments that's like, it's a bot, and it's like, I made $10,000 trading Forex with Jessica Williams. Here's Jessica Williams' WhatsApp number, and then you text Jessica Williams, and Jessica Williams is like, hey, give me your wallet address thing so that I can put a bunch of money in there. And then you do it, and then she just takes all your money. And it turns out she wasn't Jessica Williams. She was just some guy. Now in that situation, because that's sort of the modern version, who is at fault? Is it Jessica Williams, or is it, Dan the Man 69 on YouTube? At what point do we take personal responsibility? I'm not saying I have no opinion either way, but I'm curious about yours because you seem passionate about the issue.
Yeah, I think as we age and as the older generations are more, I'd probably say technically aware, technically savvy, then I think there would sort of be a shifting baseline on that, right? Of like what is acceptable in the state of like the older generations as they are now, people that are like my mom's age, or people like I'm not even gonna give a number, but people that are older, I feel for them because they didn't grow up with that. Or like I grew up with these things, right? But I think that would be a changing standard overall, and I think like in the case of like if I don't, Dan the Man 95, I don't remember who you said.
I think I said 69, but you can be any number.
Okay. I would say like if Dan the Man was in their 20s, probably I would say like maybe you should know that, like because of the technical world, but I don't think that's a blanket statement. So I'm going
to try to trick you into doing a blanket. I'm going to scam you into doing a blanket statement. At what age?
Okay.
At what age? Is it your fault if a scammer takes all your Bitcoin? At what age? When should you know better?
At what age? When should you know better? From here on out?
From here on out. What's the cutoff?
I want to say 25.
25.
25.
Really? So
I think that's plenty of time to have technology in your hands.
Interesting. Okay, so if you're 27 and Jessica Williams texts you and is like, give me your bank account routing information so that I can sell you a Bitcoin thing, and you give it to them, it's not your fault.
I would say, Dan the Man, where have you been?
Olivia, is there anything else you want to talk about today before we go?
No, that's that.
Do you feel satisfied with this conversation?
I really do. Thank you, Lau.
Of course. Have a good night, Olivia.
You too. Bye.
Hello, Carly.
Hi.
What is life like?
Pretty rough.
Yes,
Been
says
going through
here.
a breakup recently.
I was going to say, it says here that you just made a fake Instagram account to stalk your ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
Okay. How recently did you guys break up?
Like last month, like on Valentine's Day.
Okay, so it's been a full month.
Yeah, no, and it's still deep, fresh wound.
How long were you guys together?
We were off and on for 3 years.
Off and on for 3 years. What inspired you to make this Instagram account?
So when we broke up, like I couldn't stand seeing, like, you know how on Instagram when you're friends with somebody and they like the same post as you and it shows like their icon at the bottom, like this person liked it as well. I couldn't stand that. That made it made me want to cry seeing that. So I unfollowed him. Well, he has a private account. So I recently requested to follow him again, and he didn't allow me to follow him immediately. So I decided to make a fake account. And that night I followed 140 people, posted a bunch of memes on the page, made sure to put a guy's name, and made sure to have completely opposite, basically to throw him off that it's not me, because I wanted to stay in the range of his interests, but to the point where he doesn't know it's me.
And I mean, how do you feel about the fact that you've done this? How is this process feeling to you?
I feel psychopathic, honestly, because not even 5 minutes ago, I was looking at his location on Snapchat and he wasn't at his house, and I started to freak out because he is talking to a new girl. I heard from his friend. I was freaking out, and I was texting my friend Zach. I'm just like, do you know where she lives? And I sent a screenshot of his location, and he's like, how the hell am I supposed to know? And then I checked it again, and then he was back at his house. So he was most likely driving on his way home.
Why do you think you're doing this? What are you hoping to gain from following him on Instagram and looking at his location? What is the end game here?
Well, you know how I said we were off and on? Situations like this have happened before with us.
Okay.
Not as bad as this time, but that's why it kind of hurts the most. But I'm kind of praying a few months on, he'll be through with that girl, and I can slide back in and be like, hey, what's up? So you want to get back together?
Carly, it says you're 18, right?
Yes.
What are you still in high school? Or are you a freshman in college? What are you? Where are you at?
Oh, yeah, I'm still in high school.
Okay.
2 months away from graduation.
Okay, you're 2 months away from graduation. What are your plans after graduation?
Honestly, I'm trying to move out of my parents' house.
Cool.
Well, my dad and my stepmom's house. And recently I had a fight with my mom, but I kind of need a place to stay in the area of the community college that I'm going to be going to. So I'm thinking about making up with her, so I can get a place.
It's not a bad idea at all. I guess the reason why I'm asking you that is because you're at a super interesting point in life, graduating high school, where the world is so vast and open to you. There's infinite possibilities for you to do whatever it is you want to do. I genuinely believe that. I'm not saying it is feel-good bullshit. So to be stalking your ex on social media, whatever stalking means, and to be really fixated on the possibility of getting back with him, it is to just go complete tunnel vision and not even realize, even though it's right in front of your face, not even realize.
No, I get
the
that.
depth
I
of
get
opportunity, the depth of people out there in the world. That there is the
thing is,
possibilities are truly endless for you at this point. And so in light of that, why would you want to continue to fixate on this guy? You know, what are some things that you like want to do? Like, do you have hobbies? Do you have interests? Do you have like aspirations of any kind?
honestly, this year has been really rough, so I've lost a lot of like those motivations. He was my best friend, and like before we dated, we were best friends, and like he's the person I talk to every day more than like my actual friends. So like that was the person I leaned on. That was the person I planned on having a somewhat of like, I knew it probably wouldn't last like forever, but like I guess a little bit longer. Like we have a cat together. My sister's holding currently. Taking that cat back now. She's ours. I refuse to give her up.
I think your time, and you seem, you seem like a smart and aware person. I'm sure you know this already, but your time that you're spending, conniving on Instagram and Snapchat, it is a race to the bottom. I want you to understand that. Do you I beneath the sort of addiction brain that we've all experienced, that is very like a sort of brainwashy type of vibes, beneath all that, do you recognize how it's a race to the bottom?
Yes. I do realize it's like not a healthy thing, but like I don't have anything else to focus on right now.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And if you don't have anything to focus on, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go on Instagram, you go on Snapchat, you're gonna be like, oh, he's at the park, he's at the fucking ice skating rink, whatever it is, because you don't have anything else to focus on. So this is a good place you're at right now, because you're not in denial. You understand, you recognize that what you're doing, you might, as you kind of sort of put it, that you almost feel like you're not in control, but you're recognizing a lot of these things, that you're not in control, that it is a race to the bottom. It's good that you know that. So I mean, all right, we know that. We're aware that our actions are not productive and sometimes even a little destructive. So like, what could we replace this with? Like, what are you going to study? You said you're going to community college, right?
Yeah.
What are we studying at community college?
I really don't have a full plan yet, but like since I was younger, I've always had this idea of being a vet. So most likely like veterinary science.
Word. It's a good place to start. I mean, that's the general direction, I feel, is just that like you need something, preferably that's not other people. That's not some new guy. Even that's not, your friend. I mean, it could be your friends, but preferably something that's. Cats are nice. Taking care of a cat is nice. Gets your mind off of things. It's a whole. You're providing for something else, but like, what could you do that transmutes this energy that you're spending on Instagram and Snapchat into something more productive? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you because you only know you. But like, if you can at least conscientiously show up every day knowing that is your objective, that is your next step, I think you will eventually get there. Does that make sense? Do you agree with that?
Oh, you're right.
What do you think about all this?
It's a hard pill to swallow, and I get these things, and I really do make an effort a lot. I try to go out with my friends. Like, I try to go out on a date with somebody else to get my mind off things. I try to like focus on my studies. Like, I'm currently in theater, so I'm trying to focus on my play.
Rock and roll.
But like, it always goes back to that. But like, I guess I just got to keep on pushing for more, I guess. I got to do more things because I feel like I'm allowing myself time to think, and when I think, that's when it like really gets bad.
Oh yes, no. You never want to think. You never want to be alone with your thoughts. That's the game. That's all this. That's the whole game of everything. Why do you think I'm a gecko on the computer right now, Carly? Stick it away from the thoughts.
Like,
but I feel like you're on a good track where you're conscientiously showing up every day with that in mind. And from there, at least in my experience, it's gonna be about time. It's gonna be about time. It's pretty fresh for you, a month.
Yeah.
But I think time plus awareness that stalking his Snapchat is not the moves is the way to go. And please, for the love of God, delete those apps and that account.
You're right.
You gonna do it right now?
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
You do it right now?
I'm doing it right now.
Hey, you could delete both of them.
You're right.
Instagram never done nothing good for anyone, except those influencers that get paid $30,000 to talk about water. Listen,
gone.
Carly, Jack bless you. Good luck to you. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Do you want a tarot card reading?
Ooh, maybe another time.
Understandable.
But hey, that's a good thing to get into. You know, if we're talking about things that you like doing. Tarot card readings, start a small business, whatever it is. Just throwing ideas out there.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Carly forever. The cards have nothing to tell me that I don't already know. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if the cards have to tell me. I don't know if the cards talk. I don't know if I trust them. Josh?
Hey, how's it going?
How are you, Josh?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm a gecko on the computer. How can I? You know, I'm always sort of torn about you know, if I was about to say how can I help you, but I don't know if I can help you, Josh. Unless if you think I can. Do you think I can help you with anything? Is there anything that you're fairly certain I could help you with?
You could give me like an am I the asshole evaluation on a little scenario I have.
Oh, for sure. What's the scenario?
I was in Colorado for a week doing a lot of snowboarding, and we were indulging in the cannabis, and so I brought this electric rig called a Puffco Peak Pro. It's like $400. And we were hitting that the whole time, and then like the last night before we flew out, it magically just like the glass shattered magically, like, and someone walked over and saw it and told me, but like nobody said anything about it, and like everybody was like, I didn't do that. But like, I don't know about you, I don't know if you've ever used a bong, but like I feel like most people know if they break something, like it's pretty apparent. And everybody just like acted like they didn't know who did it, and I got like visibly upset. Was like said some choice words and went to bed. And the next day, I like mentioned something else about it. One of the guys got like crazy upset, said a lot of like kind of harsh things to me, and I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't like bitching or an asshole in that situation. You know, like I feel like if they were my friends, they could have just like owned up to it. Like that glass replacement was probably like $70. Like I could give a fuck less about the glass. But like I just wanted someone to tell me like that they did it.
No, it's the principle. It's like, what, you know, we've been friends for how many years, and you're not just gonna, you know, we're all adults. You're not just gonna own up and tell me that you broke this thing.
Yeah, that's basically it. I was like, I mean, I can easily replace this tomorrow, but like, why would you just set it back? Like, what if I did that to your car? Or what if I just hit your car by accident and then like parked in the other spot and was like, I don't know what happened, dog.
So did you ever find out how many guys were in this house?
Me and 3 other dudes. One of the guys does not smoke. He's completely out of the picture. I know he wouldn't have even been near it.
Okay, so it's 2 of them, and to this point, do they still adamantly deny that they had anything to do with it?
Yeah. But the one didn't get upset or anything. He's the one that actually brought it over and showed it to me because he was about to use it, and he was like, "Yeah, I think it's like broken at the top." And then I said like, "Who did it?" The other guy didn't really say much that night, and then the next day he was the one that like got crazy upset.
So you think he's got something to hide here?
I feel like he has something to hide. Like, why would he flip out like that? Like, it didn't correlate. Like, he just started like, you know, like taking like cheap shots at me and like attacking me for all this stuff. And I was like, why are you yelling? Like, I wasn't yelling, you know. And I don't know. I felt like he definitely did it. But I'd never accused him. You know, I just said like.
Let me ask you something.
It feels weird.
This guy, who you think did it, what has your relationship been with him thus far? Like, is this something that is completely out of character for him? Because I assume you've known this guy for a decent amount of time.
I've known him
going on this trip with him. You have an established record of who he is and what your relationship is like with him. What does that record look like?
Right. So I've probably known him for 2 or 3 years. I met him through like a bunch of wake surfing guys. And he is definitely kind of like an altercative person, I guess you could say. Like, I feel like he kind of enjoys that.
He enjoys confrontation.
Never towards like, that's, yeah. But like, he's never really done anything towards like any of us to make me, basically what happened like goes out of line for anything I've experienced within our friends group around him. But I've seen him get upset with other people, like on like the ski slopes and stuff, kind of similar to that.
Okay, so you've observed him having a angry temperament in the past.
Yeah.
Now, are you like, and look, you know, be honest with me here. Are you 100% sure that somebody broke your bong and that something freakish didn't happen, like a cat came in and put it down, or the wind, or anything like that? Are you like 100% sure this was the act of a human?
I mean, I had just used it like less than 5 minutes before I went to sit down to eat, and we were in an Airbnb. There's like no animals or anything. It has a heavy bass, like you have to like hit it with your hand and knock it over or something. So I find it like kind of hard to believe that it would have just been like, an accidental like swing. Because like if it got knocked over or the point where it shattered, like it had to have gotten picked back up. because it was sitting back up.
Ooh, because it was standing back up, but it was damaged.
Right.
There's a lot of detective work going into this. All right, so this guy, who you're pretty sure did it, because he's acting all emotional, he's freaking out. I don't know, because when you told me that if we're playing detective here, I feel like the person who brought it to you could also be guilty. You know, we don't want to rule him out.
What's
his track record
too,
like?
But like I've known him for like 10 years. I lived with him for like 5 years, and like we've both like broken each other's glass before, and just honestly like told each other, and like just paid each other like whatever. Like, you know, it was never a big deal. I would kind of trust him to tell me if that was him. So
okay.
And like that also, when that other guy flipped out, he blamed it on my friend I've known for 10 years. So,
so the guy who flipped out blamed it on the guy you've known for 10 years.
Yeah, he was like, it was probably him, like trying to like clear himself.
Yeah, this guy sounds super guilty. So
yeah.
So listen, I mean, are you going to continue your relationship with this guy who you sort of now know to act a fool in this manner?
Probably not. I mean, like my other friend, like the 10-year friend, and I were talking on like a ski lift one of the days when it was just us, and he had some thoughts about it too, and said he might stop hanging out with him after this trip. And then all this stuff happened after that.
Okay, so this guy, this is not an isolated incident of bad things.
It seems like all of us have slowly been kind of catching on to things.
Well, it sounds like you have your plot forward established here in terms of whether or not you're going to hang out with this guy again.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a big no.
What kind of bong was it again? Say it one more time.
The Puffco Peak Pro.
Are you gonna buy another one?
Yeah, I'll probably just go get a glass replacement piece the next few days. Like I usually just only use it for traveling anyway, so it's not like pressing. But
you have a travel one and then like a home one.
I have like an actual piece of glass for home. This is more like electric setup kind of.
Is there anything else you want to say to the people before we go?
Veiled back bowls are really sick. If you've never hit those up, definitely do it.
What is it?
The Veiled back bowls at Vail Resort. Vail Resort's like all right.
Oh, this is the scene of the crime here.
That's where we were. We were at Vail, Breckenridge, Keystone, Beaver Creek. Over 5 days we hit 4 resorts over 5 days, and we hit Vail twice.
Well, it sounds like aside from this bong-breaking incident, it was a pretty good weekend.
Oh, yeah. I had the GoPro 360. That thing is so cool. Have you ever used it?
No, I haven't. I got to get one, though, because I want to do my Gecko walk things with that. So I'm going to... Do you have a code for it?
Yeah, it's really cool. When you get it, sign up for the GoPro subscription. It's $50 a year, I think, and it's so worth it because if you break your GoPro, they just replace it, no question. And... it's like unlimited cloud storage upload. So all your videos you can upload to their cloud and there's no limit to it, which is pretty cool.
Well, Josh, I hope you're getting paid for this.
Nah, man, I'm just chilling on my couch.
Beautiful. Have a good night, Josh.
You too, man.
Hello?
Alana?
How's it going, Alana? Tell me everything. Alana, well, here, Alana, it says here that you want to know if you should be mad that you recently found out that your dad got married a year ago and did not tell anybody.
Yeah, it was something I could talk about for sure. If you want to talk about it.
That's why we're here. We're here to talk on the phone. Alana, what happened here?
All right. Well, backstory. My dad and my parents separated about 6 years ago, and about 3 years ago, he started dating this girl. I don't want to say her name. Kiana. I don't care. Kiana. And we all met her at my brother's 18th birthday party, which was at my dad's house, our like family house before my parents separated. And when we all pulled up and she was there, at first I thought she was one of my brother's friends. And I was like she looked really like she wasn't talking to anybody. And so I said, hey, do you need a swimsuit or, need any direction for bathroom or food? Let me know. And she's like, no, I'm good. Like, and I was like, all right. And she said, have you seen Alan? I'm like, my dad? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, no. Yeah, I think he's inside. And she's like, all right, cool, thanks. And then she walked away and then kind of like clicked. I'm like, is that the girl that my dad's dating? And so she's found out she's my age, 1 year older than me, I think. So I'm 26, she's 27. So at first it was like a shock to find out that he was with someone that was so young, but I wanted to be like happy for him and okay, and just be like, all right, I want him to have a companion. So I was okay with it. I got used to it. She was really nice and whatever. But, since my parents separated, my dad just he wasn't the same dad. He hasn't been the same dad to them as he was to me, as in just like not showing up to, sporting events or, not also, he just stopped financially helping with my mom and like doesn't pay for child support or health bills or anything. And so he doesn't help. And that just makes me, as the older sibling, I have a lot of anger, and I'm not an angry person. And so I have so much anger for this one person that is like my dad. And so it's a shitty thing to feel, but it's hard when like, I just had my birthday a month ago and he made plans to get lunch and canceled them, rescheduled and canceled the rescheduling because he said his car broke down, which I'm like, okay, you could just Uber. You could Uber. I could pick you up. It's not an excuse. So it feels like there's all these things that just don't line up that makes it feel like that I should forgive him and just like, be around. And
so you're 26. Has it always been like this with him?
Not since, I guess, like a couple years after the divorce. Like when I was younger in high school, I was way closer with my dad than I was with my mom. And then it switched. It's when I left for college and then all this happened. Because this all happened when I was away for college. So, I wasn't home to be there through like the really hard part of it, like the first 2 years. And that was my siblings that went through it all. And then I was away and then I came back after I graduated and now I just kind of started to see what the result of like everything happening and just, it's just not fair. And it's not about like fairness and like, it's just more of, I want my siblings to like have had experience the same dad that like I got the experience of, who was the person taking me to practices and showing up to everything.
Have you told him that you're pissed off at him? Have you expressed to him that you felt like you guys used to be closer? Well, you said he knows.
Yeah.
But what makes you say he knows?
Because I did have So it was after I came back, like I did live with him for about 7 months, with him and his girlfriend at the time, now wife. It was up and down, but didn't end on a great note. But I did talk to him, and I'm very honest, I guess. I'm not someone that really holds back how I feel, but I guess it's because I have expressed that to him so many times already, and I've had like sit down lunches with him where I've just said, like, you know, just show up to my sister's game, show up to my brother's game, just like be there. Why can't you just do that? And like,
Yeah.
you know, he's a salesman. He is really good at being all talk, and then when it comes down to it, it's not.
Yeah, he's trying to play people like a fiddle. Like
a really
that.
good salesman.
Elena, dude, you know, I think that it's cool that you care so much about your siblings and that you want them to have the same experience with your dad that you had.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I have a question. So do you think that like you just said, like, is it right for me to have these emotions that are not really attached directly to me? Like, it's not like he didn't cancel my birthday, whatever, but it's not like the big things. He didn't directly do it to me. It's been like to my family, like to my siblings and like my mom. So is it right for me to feel this kind of anger with the things that he's done, not even to me, to people I love? Or should I be able to have that separation of, like, you know, because I still love him. It's not like at the end of the day, I'm super mad at him, but like I love him and I care about him. But
here's what I'll tell you. Here are like my thoughts. Is are you right to be mad? Of course, I don't think that feelings necessarily need a whole lot of justification. Like, are you right to be mad? Who fucking cares? You're mad, you know? It doesn't, whether or not it's right. But I do think this is something I've kind of been meditating on lately, is like, there's only so much shit that's in your control. Like, how your dad treats your siblings, you know, it's valid that it makes you mad, but I think you have to look at how that anger is serving you. Like, is it propelling you to make some sort of conscious choice or take some sort of conscious action to your or anyone's benefit? Because at the end of the day, I feel like while I think it's noble of you, you clearly are a person that cares a lot about other people, that cares a lot about your family, but I think that it might serve you to accept the fact that you can't control the actions of your dad. You can control how you talk to him. You can control how you treat him. You can control how you treat your siblings. And it sounds like, from what you've told me, you've done all the things that seems like you can. You've been honest. You've told him how you feel. You know, you can put as much effort as you want or don't want into cultivating a relationship with him. But at the end of the day, I think there does need to be a little bit of acceptance that you can't control his behavior. You can't. As much as you try, you can't make him act any sort of way to you or to your siblings. But you have other things in your control. Like, you control how you act to your siblings. So, like, if you see if you feel like there's things that you got as a kid from your dad that you see your siblings not getting, and that pains you to see them not get it, well, what can you do to give it to them? Like, can you be more, you know, loving and thoughtful toward your siblings? That's something that's in your control to do. You know, you can't make your dad do it, but you can sort of fill in the gaps that he's leaving, right? And you know, I feel like that is a sort of productive application of your anger. You know, so I would say take your anger, because you have it. You have your anger, and it's valid anger. Take it and apply it transmute it, apply it towards the things that you can control. You can control how you act towards your dad. You can control how you act towards your siblings, but you cannot, under any circumstances, control how he acts towards them. What do you think about all that?
No, I completely agree with you, and I do put expectations on people, and I get really hurt when they're not met, and it's just people are human, and it's not fair to set any preconceived expectation on anyone. So, and I do my best to like you said, fill the gaps. I I'll take my sister to tournaments in other states, and I'll spend time with her. And now that I've moved back in, under my mom's new place, but with my sister, and we're sharing a bathroom, and I think it's a good opportunity for us to kind of, build our relationship and kind of be that filler. And
absolutely,
she looks at me like a mom too much because I'm 8 years older than her. And so I don't want to be, and I don't want her to be, because it's I want her to look at me as my sister, not, and an older sister that she can talk to, not an older mom. But I'm doing
well, Elena, listen, I'm glad to hear that you're finding ways to transmute this anger. I think if I had to leave you with some sort of thesis of whatever this of what this call is, it's the solution would be to transmute that anger into productive things that you can do for yourself and your siblings, which it sounds like you're doing. So, props to you for, as we're talking about filling in those gaps. Before we go, is there anything else you want to say to the world or to a Gecko on the computer?
To you, yeah. Thanks for taking my call. I called 74 times. And
anytime, Elena, anytime.
I know. And, I know you don't, your platform originally wasn't for, therapy for people. It was just to talk. But I appreciate you always offering up the platform to, give advice. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I give a shot anytime I feel like I can. I try to as least, because the last thing I ever want is to be some kind of a guru. But if I have a thought that sounds that in my head, I'm like,
genuine.
This sounds like it kind of makes sense, I will.
You've always sounded genuine, and it's I feel like people that have listened to you know that you're actually genuine, and you'll listen to whoever talk about whatever. But anyways, I won't take any more of your time, but thanks, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Thank you for calling, Elena. Geck, bless you.